Sumusuporta ako sa constitutional amendment for Bangsamoro Substate dahil sa ilang mga kadahilanan. So, number one, nakita ko na in terms of the GPH and MILF peace process, grabe na yung adjustment and compromise na ginawa ng MILF side. From independence, they chose to go with just a sub-state. And then, even yung territory nila, ang liit na nga lang nung kiniklaim nila. I mean, compared dun sa original na talagang pagmamayari. Tapos, number two, mahirap i-achieve yung mga possible changes given the current constitution. So, dapat hindi tayo magpalimit sa current situations kasi even in the past, radical changes or changes that are for the better actually happened when people were open to new ideas and new possibilities. And actually, it's not a new idea. It won't be the first time na mangyayari siya. Nagawa na yun ng ibang bansa with iba't ibang bansa na under sa similar situations like the case of Hong Kong, Scotland, Aceh, and other places. So, it is possible. Being one of the migrant settlers in Mindanao, which I already consider my home, I think it's my responsibility also to reach out to fellow settlers and the Christian majority to get to know the roots of this issue and not be carried away by negative and sensationalized coverage on the peace process and security issues, especially the conflict situation happening mostly in central Mindanao but also other places of Mindanao. Let's be very vigilant that we really know the truth and that we don't perpetrate further the prejudice, hatred, and injustices. And I think it's high time that we really give the Bangsamoro what they deserve, the right to self-determination and governance. I hope we would be very open to also giving them what is due to them. Having a Bangsamoro Substate doesn't mean that we will all be thrown back to Luzon and Visayas. And it doesn't mean that we will be governed by Sharia law because only the Muslims are covered by Sharia law. I'm just mentioning some examples of misconceptions so that we would be well informed and we would really look into this issue deeply and understand where this is coming from and why we need this. Okay, as you can see in this sample map of the Comprehensive Compact on Interim Governance proposed by the MILF, these red areas with predominantly Bangsamoro population are the ones covered by the claim. The proposed areas will still undergo a plebiscite, so those Christian and IT communities that don't want to be part of the substate can still opt to not be under it. And most importantly, vested rights will still be respected as long as the land that are currently owned were acquired through legal means. There has been a lot of trauma, a lot of generations of trauma that we really need to heal. So we really need to be careful when faced with certain biased or prejudiced declarations. We shouldn't be the ones perpetrating it. We should help change the mind frame and reverse the misconceptions. I call on everyone to be very vigilant and also to do their share in transforming the negative bias towards Mindanao and the people of Mindanao. For teachers, your role is very important because a lot of the things that happened in Mindanao are currently not in our textbooks. For the religious groups, I call on you to also practice the type of faith that does justice by reaching out to other people of different backgrounds and ethnicities and get to know their stories and do more interfaith dialogues. And basically just stop the hatred and prejudice from spreading, because understandably the trauma and fear has been handed down to many generations up until now. So it's changing those perspectives won't happen overnight. For my fellow youth, I call on you to maximize the use of internet and social media by participating in online forums and spreading the truth of what's really happening, especially if we are from Mindanao. Let's help and change the negative perspective on Mindanao. Especially for the bloggers, write more about the positive stories. There are a lot of positive stories in Mindanao that are not reaching mainstream media. So that's very important for us to really reach more people and make them understand about the real issues behind what's happening. I am inviting everyone to join us in our 1 million signature campaign to support the constitutional amendment for a Bangsamoro Substate. We aim to have the 1 million signatures by December so that we could build constituency and show the people in the higher ups, and especially in Luzon, what we really want and the solution that we have chosen, because clearly based on history and even some people within the AFP would say that the military solution is not the answer. And lastly, for me, if we only open our hearts and minds, a long-lasting solution is possible, which is a just political settlement to finally end the conflict.